What are the current needs of the Seattle Seahawks as we head into the offseason? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. And I think we need to take a little bit of a break from the scheduled content, the stuff that gets churned out over a period of time that encompasses a large amount of information across a specific topic, and instead take a little bit of time here just to size things up before we dive into the next part. We just wrapped up the outgoing free agents for the Seattle Seahawks, and now that we've gotten to the end of that, the next logical step is outside free agency. Free agency starts in mid-March, so we've got plenty of time, but we also have a lot of stuff we need to talk about. And before we get to all that, we need to kind of size up where we are and where we could be. So what I've done here, and I've done this before, if you've been watching videos on the channel for a while now, you've probably seen a spreadsheet like this before. I just sort all of the positions on a football team into a kind of hierarchy of need. What do the Seahawks have a high need of? What do they have a medium need of? What do they have a low need of? And what do they have no need of based on the current roster? So it just provides a general guide as we try to figure out what to focus on as the excuse me, as the off-season starts. Probably should have done this a couple weeks ago before I even started the free agency stuff, but nevertheless, we should go ahead and take measure of where things stand, as well as where things will stand, hopefully, in the coming weeks. So let's go ahead and go through this spreadsheet, and I'll talk about my thought process briefly for this, and then there's a second half to this as well. So watch the video to the end to see the second half of this. So as of right now, the way I see it, the Seahawks have, and let me be very clear here, this is taking the roster as it is right now. Who is under contract right now, who is not under contract for the 2025 season as of now. So we all may have anticipations and expectations that certain things will transpire, but this is taking the team in its current state as it is set up on paper. So understand that there are some things that are very likely to happen, but they have not happened yet. So high need, I have left guard. I think that's a no-brainer. We literally don't have a left guard on the team right now. We have a couple of guys that could be moved to left guard in theory, but we do not have a left guard on the roster right now going into the season. Laken Tomlinson's contract is up, and at this point, if the season started tomorrow, our left guard might be Christian Haynes. Just bump him over. That's the only thing I can think of. We really don't have an actual left guard at the moment. Nose tackle, and this is relative. Nose tackle is not a super important position, but relative to the position, we have a high need at nose tackle. Hankins is a free agent. Reed, not that we're using him as a nose tackle really anyway under McDonald, is a free agent. The only nose tackle we have on the team right now is Cameron Young, who hasn't really been around for a while, and I don't think there can be anything expected of him. So right now our nose tackle is Byron Murphy, and Byron Murphy is not a nose tackle. He can do it a little bit, but that's not really his best role. So we need a nose tackle and linebacker. This is off-ball or inside linebacker. Right now, Ernest Jones is not under contract for 2025, so he's not part of this. And that being the case, the only starting caliber linebacker the Seahawks have is Tyrese Knight. They don't have another starting linebacker. They're going to need at least one more, a guy who is starting caliber. And they don't really have depth either. Their depth at linebacker is pretty weak right now. It's Drake Thomas and I don't even know. It's pretty weak. So they need another starter, and they need depth. Maybe 2 depth guys. It's possible. Medium need. Medium need, I went with center. Center's kind of tough. Right now, you've got Oluwatimi, who's okay, right? Oluwatimi's okay. And then you've got Jalen Sundle, who the team seems to like, but I don't know if there's really anything there. They've got the Nowitzki guy, who we've never seen. And they might have Christian Haynes if they're moving Christian Haynes to center, but as of right now, we have no idea if they're doing that. So I think center's a medium need. It would not be the worst thing ever to go into the season with Oluwatimi as your starting center, but I do think it would be a pretty bad thing. So I think we need a starter, and if we don't, we certainly need better depth. And I also went with cornerback. I know that as of right now, we do have Witherspoon and Woolen, but we don't really have much else right now. We have Nehemiah Pritchett, okay? We have Nehemiah Pritchett. Trey Brown's a free agent. Artie Burns is a free agent. Josh Joby's a free agent. DJ James got cut last offseason, so he's currently not around. So there's really nothing else to say. There's nothing else going on at the position with this team that I know of. And if there is anything going on, it's of such small significance that it's barely worth talking about. So the team needs another, I'd say, starting caliber cornerback, even if Woolen stays. And they probably need a little bit of depth as well. So that's a medium need for me. The good news is, at the top end, they're good, right? They do have Witherspoon, and despite my problems with Woolen, he's not a bad player. He's just a very flawed player. Low need. Low need, I went with quarterback. The only reason why quarterback is not no need is because both guys are on the last year of their deal. Gino's old, and Howell may not be very good. It depends on how you feel about Sam Howell. So I'm not going to say no need, but if this team extends Gino and they are content with Howell, then there's no need. I do think that at the minimum, we can say there is some flexibility with Sam Howell because he's got no guaranteed money for 2025. You could move off of him, and it means absolutely nothing to you. So we'll see. But I'll go low need for now. If they extend Gino, I would probably bump that to no need because then you're just handcuffed to it. Wide receiver, low need. I think you need depth. I do think you need to start thinking about depth. Right now, Lockett's in the last year of his contract. Metcalf last year of his contract. But you still have them for the moment. And with JSN, that gives you your starters. I'd like to see a little bit of stuff happening behind those 3 guys. I'm not really high on Bobo anymore. And Derek Young never really did anything the way I was hoping when we got him. I like Derek Young, but it's been a few years now and he hasn't really done much. So how much are we going to wait for that? I don't think we can wait anymore. So low need, just need depth. Right guard, low need. You've got Anthony Bradford. You've got Sataoa Lomia. You've got, for the moment, Christian Haynes. The question is, are any of those guys good? We don't know yet. So I think there's an argument to be made that all 3 of those guys are not good enough. So I'm going to say low need. But we do have 3 guys. You can't carry a 4th guy. So getting another guy would require you to let those guys go. So I'm going to say low need for now. You should be able to come up with a competent right guard given those 3 players. So I can't go higher than that. Defensive tackle, I think we need depth. And that's really it. Like, you've got Leonard Williams, you've got Big Cat. Those are your starters. Those are your interior lineman starters. That's more than enough for 85 to 90% of the game. You just need somebody you can trust for the last 10 to 15%. And I don't think that guy's on the team right now. I think clearly this team doesn't like Mike Morris. There's clearly no faith in Roy Robertson Harris. He is under contract, but so is Mike Morris, and neither of those guys get on the field, so who cares? So I think you need one more guy who can competently play maybe 10 snaps a game. Edge rusher, for the moment, is a low need. You don't really have room to do that much here because you've got 4 guys under contract right now that are worthy of playing time. The problem is, none of those guys are stars. At this point, I don't think Nwosu's a star until he proves that he is as good as he was 2-3 years ago. And you've also got some real question marks about where these guys are going to end up. So I do think there's room for another edge. The issue is you don't really need depth here. You need a stud. Somebody who can bump Mafe and Nwosu down the totem pole a little bit and get it to a point where guys like Derek Hall and Draymond Jones only have to play a little bit. And then you have a really firm rotation. You don't really need another depth guy, so it's kind of complicated right now. It will probably be uncomplicated soon. And I also said free safety is a low need because I think we need a backup. We don't have one right now. And that's all the need stuff. The positions where we have no need as of right now, I think are self-explanatory. Based on the current contracts, we have no need for running back, tight end, left tackle, right tackle, strong safety, kicker, or punter. Now, like I said, there's another half to this. Let's bump over this way. This is the hierarchy of needs if the Seattle Seahawks do what I have advocated for them to do in my previous video series. So if they do the things that I want them to do, like for instance, if they release Tyler Lockett, receiver becomes a medium need. If they release Noah Fant, tight end becomes a medium need. If they move Christian Haynes to center, then center becomes a low need, but right guard becomes a medium need. If they release Draymond Jones, then edge rusher becomes a medium need. If they sign Ernest Jones, then linebacker goes from a high need to a low need. I think you guys get what I'm trying to indicate here. This is if they make the moves I want them to make. This is what it will be. So you can see that things got a little bit more difficult to address, but not necessarily in any way that I would consider to be a problem, because what you are losing is well worth the money you're gaining. Yeah, now you need another receiver, but you've got a bunch of extra money now to do that. Yeah, now you need another tight end, at least one more tight end, but the money you save on the Noah Fant release is easily going to be able to find another tight end. You did open up a little bit of a hole at right guard, but you hopefully took care of the problem at center if you move Haynes over. See what I'm getting at here? You trade Woolen, but cornerback remains a medium need because in my scenario, you bring back Joby and you bring back Artie Burns. And you still have Devin Witherspoon, who is a budding superstar. So you do need to take care of corner, but you're still pretty good at the top. You just need to add on. So this is where we could be if the team does what I want them to do. Releasing George Fant makes right tackle a low need instead of a no need, right? For obvious reasons. Now you need a backup. And I don't know where Mike Gerald fits in right now. Maybe he's the backup left tackle. Maybe he's the backup right tackle. Either way, I don't know if he's going to be ready to play in 2025. Releasing Rayshon Jenkins makes strong safety a low need because now you need a backup for Julian Love. And I think those are the main things that changed. But Draymond Jones's release creates a medium need at edge rusher, in my view. I think most of this is self-explanatory. So let me know what you guys think. That is how I hope it plays out in the coming weeks. This is where we currently sit, the way I see it. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know how you feel about it. That is the Seattle Seahawks hierarchy of needs from my perspective. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later today. Just wanted to go ahead and lay this all out. Go Hawks.